Hey, Shibwifhat fam, this is Anon Soul. This is another video. Basically, this is just for all the new listeners and old listeners. Just run through a few things. This is my convictions in a particular project. This is not financial advice. I basically just have some alpha I would like to cover. For all the new listeners, I'll run through what Shibwifhat is. Shibwifhat is a meme coin on the Solana ecosystem. It was built by a particular group of team. This team were early investors in the original Shib on ETH. When that initial ran up to, I think it was like 39 billion market cap on ETH, that they decided that, hey, they want to repeat that process or repeat that history on the Solana ecosystem. And this is pretty much what this coin is about. They're basically building a swap index on the Solana ecosystem. With that being said, it's actual tangible utility that will be profitable based off buys and sells. Every time somebody buys, a transaction that counts as a transaction, and there's a fee associated with that transaction. And that's pretty much what they're trying to build. This is the SHIB swap, which is coming soon. For those who don't know, it was actually leaked not too long ago. This was leaked, and I have some content here to show those people. This is from Taringa. That's what the leaked swap is. And if you look at the very top, you can see that they're using the same hosting site that the original OG SHIB used, which is netify.app. So it's shib-dex.netify.app/swap. And you can see this is an actual URL that he had navigated to. This was leaked by Taringa, so shout out to Taringa for the alpha. And I was also able to connect my wallet to it as well, my test wallet. So I'll show you, I think I have a photo before and after the test. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. Oh, no, don't zoom. Cool. So this is pretty much what I did was I connected my wallet. You can see up there, C7K6JBA5, kind of like doxing my wallet here. I connected and I purchased a transaction 0.01 for 743 SHIB tokens, and I made that transaction. People do not believe me, but here you go. Boom, I made that transaction and I was able to purchase, and I was able to get that token. And you can see here in my wallet, even as today, I still have that transaction here. And it was routed, the soul scan showed that it was routed through Juniper. So this is an actual swap that they actually built and designed, and it's in development mode, and it was leaked to the community through OGs in the community like myself and a few other people. And we were able to test and play with it, which is pretty dope. And obviously the team disabled that because I reached out to the team and I asked Wolf Nagato, who there's like 4 core members of the team. I was like, hey, I don't want to be weird and nothing like that, but I was just wondering if this was legit. And he was able to verify that it is in fact, he didn't verify it like it was legit, but this is his answer and his response, and I'll show everybody here again. I reach out to Wolf Nagata. I go, hey man, and I just showed you that URL. Is this legit? And he goes, I don't want. And I wrote to him, I don't want to post it, but just curious. And he gave me the most diplomatic answer, which implies that these guys are high IQ folks. He goes, hey, don't connect your wallet, which was already too late because like a kid, I already connected my wallet. I completely just didn't care. I was gonna connect my wallet. And then he goes, and wait for the official announcements. Now, if it's interesting to note that the wait is a capital letter, capital W. So this to me implies that there was significant thought when he wrote this. He didn't write this as one sentence, because he himself didn't want, and this is me reading into this, obviously I'm conjecture on my part, but I'm reading into this response and multiple times that he didn't say no, this is not their swap. He didn't say yes, it is their swap. He gave me the most diplomatic answer to just to be like it's like a business responding to something. It's like written by a legal team. He goes, don't connect your wallet and wait for the official announcement. That's pretty awesome, right? Now, I don't know what that is or how it is, but I do know that when I tried to navigate to that URL after notifying the team, that has been turned off. So that's interesting, right? Because now that's off. So these things are extremely interesting. This is the ship swap. So there is leak content and confirmation that this thing is in being developed and matured. We all know that in the development phase, that as these things mature, that more than likely what's going to happen is this has to get tested. It has to get two types of tests. There's a static code test, which is going to look at the actual code build and find out what packages and so forth and anomalies with how that was developed. But then there's also a dynamic test that needs to be performed. The dynamic test is a bit more intrusive because you're testing the application as it works. So what does that mean? It's a lot of technical jargon, but to keep it simple, it's like a static test is like an engine, like a mechanic walking into the shop and just looking at the engine and say, well, your starter's gone or whatever. He doesn't even need to start the car. He just looks at it. He knows it. And the dynamic test is when the engine is engaged and it's turned on and it's running, and you see the belt running and all the stuff moving on the engine. Then that's mechanical parts that are in motion and they're moving, and that needs to be tested as well, because when things look static, it's okay, but when things are in motion, that you want to make sure that that's also working as it should. That's the equivalent of the two tests within the programming world. There's a static test and a dynamic test. And I suspect, and this is my conjecture on my part, but I think that if you develop a web application that's going to be responsible for financial transactions and things of sort, and you have it operational, you're going to need to test it and seek vulnerabilities and things like that. I suspect what is really the gist of it is that this dynamic test needs to be performed. It needs to go through some audit, and then whatever findings they have, good or bad or whatever it may be, the team will then be given time to fix that, and then once it's fixed, then they have to go back and get it tested and then validate that the fix corrected the issue. So that's called Q&A. That's like a Q&A process, like part of the development process. So I can understand if this is still in development, there's still some more time for this to mature, and nobody wants something that hasn't been verified or tested. So, be patient. I suspect that that's probably what's happening here. And that's pretty much that's just my conjecture and what I'm seeing from my experience, working in the tech space. And, that's just something that we gotta be patient with. And for me, I'm cool. Like the fact that I know this exists is extremely bullish. That's amazing, right? Like this was a fair launch token, and for all you know, this could have been a wire diagram, but it's more so because I was fortunately enough able to actually touch that thing, and actually interact with it. So very bullish. We're listed on CoinMarketCap. We're listed on CoinGecko, and we're already listed on a SEX, which is Bitmart. Excuse me, I'm just so bullish right now. I'm just excuse me. That's how bullish I am. So pretty much what's happening is the SHIB swap is coming out. This is the catalyst of all catalysts. And then on top of that, you have multiple SEX listings that are leading up to that, right? So when this comes out, this is the Shibwifhat. It's when this swap comes out, it's going to be like Radium. Radium is a swap, and they have their token called Ray. Uniswap is a swap, and it has their token called Uni. You have Juniper is a swap, Juniper, and they have their token called Jupe. You have Pancake Swap on the Binance network, and that's they have a token called Cake. What I'm really trying to narrate, even Sushi Swap, is a swap on ETH and a competing swap, and they have their own token called Sushi. You have this narrative that what you're seeing is all these initiatives or all these ventures, they all have their own swap, competing swaps. And with that being said, they have their own token associated with that swap. Now look at the ones I rattled off. Look at the market cap for that. Now this one is a bit more different because this is carrying that brand, that Shiba Inu brand, that Shiba family brand. It's operated more so like a franchise. If you think about it, right? It's like a franchise on the Solana ecosystem because why? There's a lot of growth and development that's occurring on the Solana ecosystem. And I'm going to cover that to prove that point in just a few moments. But that's pretty much the narrative of that. That's bullish. what one thing I love about this team and this amazing project is everything has a utility. This is a utility token that has both well, this is a utility token masquerading as a meme token, and this is important because a meme token is really the utilities of community, and that's it. In this instance, there's a tangible utility, which is the swap over here. So it has two utilities: the community in itself, and then the actual swap. And that's the brilliance of this, and that's why Shiba Inu did so well in ETH, right? That's the beauty of this. This is why this is amazing. So I do want to cover that, and pretty much one of the beautiful things about this is even the NFTs have a utility, which is amazing. These are the NFTs that the team has launched. They look just like the original OG Shib. So there's a lot of speculation, guys. There's a lot of speculation that this and these are all part of the Shiba ecosystem, the original Shiba ecosystem that's on ETH. And I don't know whether or not that is true, but there is some method to that madness, because if you're Shiba Inu and you're developing on ETH and you're noticing ETH is not the place where memes are, people are moving out of ETH and they're branching out to different coins because the gas fees are not sustainable for meme coin development, right? And they go to places like Solana, and they go to places like, what they call it again, Base. When you start seeing these other coins mature and their ecosystem is developing, it's kind of like living in like San Francisco, and you're paying high, and you're a company, and you're paying high corporate tax. You're there for, you're around like all the other corporations, all the tech corporations, and then you realize that, hey, I can move my company to Texas and I pay zero corporate tax. I could buy my own building on my own land and not have to pay that overhead for rent in very expensive San Francisco. And there's a lot of tech workers out there who can be employed. Why not make that move? And you saw recently Tesla, Elon Musk made that same transition. So companies or projects that are long lasting and they're operating within an ecosystem like Ethereum, they see the amount of revenue deprecating on ETH, and they're like, where's that revenue going? Well, guess what? That revenue is going to Solana. So it's only natural for you to start some type of franchise or operation within Solana to attract that type of revenue. Now, maybe you don't want to take the risk and damage your brand for a failed venture in Solana if it went sideways or not, and you may not want to co-op it immediately. Or maybe this is just a group of guys who are the team is just basically hardcore SHIB holders. Original OG SHIB made a killing in it, and they're just completely independent of the Shibarium universe. And maybe that's the case. But regardless of however it may be and however it may turn out, the fact remains that there is a potential that this swap, when it comes out, will follow the lineage of what, Uniswap Uni, Radium Ray, all these independent different swaps that have stood up and are operating on those ecosystems and are still very profitable because their transactions are still fast, they're able to operate smoothly, it's efficient. These are the things that matters in many of the concept of these swaps that are being developed. Now, why this one is a bit different and why I'm so bullish on this, the NFTs themselves have a utility, which I don't see any swap has done that I'm aware of, where when you get an NFT and you purchase an NFT, that transaction goes to a different wallet, completely separate from the market cap. And this is interesting because if you look at the NFTs right here, a person that has one of these NFTs in their wallet and they make a transaction against the SHIB swap, they would be barred from any fees, meaning that you won't pay fees for buys and sells. There's only 1,000 NFTs that are going to be in existence. And if one NFT exists in your wallet and you can make a transaction of buy and sells and you won't pay any fees, these are actually extremely valuable compared to any other NFT in the market. Because if you're running an MEV bot, or let's say you bought something from Radium and now you have like a million shibs, like a million, let's say a new token called banana token, and you bought that token off Radium and it exists in your wallet. You can actually be able to sell that token on the shib swap, right, without paying fees if you have one of these NFTs in the wallet. So it's more profit, right? Even if you make a transaction, it'll be more profit. So that overhead of fees does not exist. It's non-existence, and that's this in itself is so. This is amazing. Now, with that being said, and you know, these NFTs do exist. The wallet up here, you can see I highlighted it within the URL, and I actually pulled it up in the Soul Scan. I want to show you guys something. These NFTs were started on March 12th, 2024. And there was a rush to get these NFTs. I mean, it was like a madhouse. It was like Black Friday sales, like back in the day, like 2002 era, right? So people were just crushing it, right? And when it was all said and done, I think within 3 weeks, 2 weeks of March the 12th of the deployment of this, in the wallet, there's 203,000 NFT, $203,000 in this wallet. And it's been like that since, like, I think March 20th. And now it's July 21st as of this video. Let's say we're going into August. And literally it's been like 4 months, right? With $200,000 sitting down in this wallet, and the team has never touched this money. Now, I've seen projects that got deployed with a bullish narrative, and it's only at what, like 4,000, let's say 10, went up to 100,000 market cap, and that project gets rugged. These guys have $200,000 in an NFT that wallet, and guess what? They have yet to touch it for 4 months, and even if they were to touch it, nobody would have known because it wouldn't impact the market cap. That's extremely bullish. That's like saying to you, like, yeah, we know we have money there, and yeah, we don't even care. We don't care it's there. We don't care because we're too busy developing the SHIB swap, right? And that's pretty much right there. That's trust. That's trust, right? It's saying that, like, it speaks volume. Inaction oftentimes speaks more so than action. And in this instance, inaction with this wallet to me speaks volume. And that to me is very bullish. And the fact that I was able to touch this and interact with this makes me extremely bullish on this particular project, because I know it exists. Now, it may not have like every single component because they need to finalize some stuff, but that's okay. One of the other things too that is often overlooked if you're new to this community is the team actually built a Shibwifhat effect on Instagram, and it exists on Instagram. So you can use your Instagram phone, and you could actually, they onboarded this to Meta. So you had to go through a whole approval process and all this stuff to help make things go viral. So you could actually take a selfie with a pink hat on it. That's extremely important because this team thought about the longevity of the project. They understood that there's going to be a portion of holding and vibing and chilling, because news is not going to come all day. There's not going to be news every single moment, right? And we have to learn to be, self-sufficient and look for things between the lines when there's no news, and try to find what the motives are, the extractions of it, and all that stuff. So that's important. And this is pretty cool. To get this on board on Meta is very bullish. I think it's bullish as hell because I don't see any other project doing something like this. And it means that the team took time out of their day to develop this and thought about this and then onboard it, submit it, got the approval. I mean, it's a whole thing, right? You don't put that type of investment in for no reason. There's reasons why you do these things. And if you look at the price action right now with SHIB, as you see, we can see there's some significant growth that's coming up here, right? And you have to understand, it looks kind of like this early on, right? There's a little growth, a little dip, a little higher dip, and a little dip. And you can see here there's multiple floors and then a monster pump, right? And then you see that people are, that's how this works, man. And this is interesting because if you see here all that beautiful pumpness that's happening here, in this portion, and I want to talk about the Solana ecosystem and why I think this is extremely important, because Solana ETFs are going to be coming out and approved, and this is amazing, because with the ETFs being approved, this means that there's going to be financial backers and more liquidity being pumped into the Solana ecosystem for more development. And this is important because one of the important things here is the Solana phone that I think is needs to be covered. Because here's the thing, a lot of people don't realize this early on. Elon Musk had a disagreement with Tim Cook of Apple. When Elon Musk took over the X, the Twitter space, he bought Twitter. Tim Cook had a meeting with him because there was concerns about free speech and censorship and things like that, and misinformation. And they were saying that, hey, we're gonna remove you, Twitter, from the App Store. Basically, Apple has a monopoly on the App Store based on the platform of how many mobile phones they sell, because they control the App Store marketplace on the iOS. Google also owns Android, which is open source, and they control the App Store. So you have a monopoly where people are centralized, creativity and innovation is stifled based off of censorship or based off of centralization. And with the Solana mobile phone, this brings a whole venture of DeFi, decentralized nature, that's going to be coming out. And this is amazing because now you can actually deploy things on the App Store and everything else. This is just going to help standardize crypto in the blockchain across a bunch of people who don't know how to use it. There's a lot of people who never use a computer, but they can operate a mobile phone because a mobile phone is easier to operate. And this is going to normalize the degen experience. This is going to normalize decentralization. This is going to normalize crypto payments. This is something that no other chain is doing. This is extremely bullish. This is the future of the Web3 application, market spaces, places, and NFTs. This creates this is going to help create a DApp store. It even tells you, look, they're going to be a decentralized store for your decentralized app store. This is this is why your app stores are glued on to the phone, right? So Apple has the App Store, Google Android has the Play Store, and now Solana Mobile is going to have this DApp Store, and this DApp Store is going to revolutionize a lot of everything: decentralized communication, censorship free. This is what it's all about. This is the future, and the fact remains that when something like this is what Elon Musk is exploring, because he has to pay an overhead to Apple and Google, and he was thinking about creating his own phone. There were some questions, if you look back, Elon trying to create his own mobile phone. If I go here and I type in, Elon mobile phone creates mobile phone, just to show you, the Tesla phone, he's coming out with his own phone. He's trying to test his Tesla phone. Look around. This is going to be this is going to be like things that they're trying to do, right? They're trying to do these things. He's building a mobile phone with an entire network linked to Starlink, which is interesting, right? And he's trying to link that up. But then there's also on the opposing side, you have things like DeFi. A billionaire like Elon Musk sees the marketplace for mobile phones and realizes it is in fact a monopoly. And he's trying to start his venture on this, building the entire network out with Starlink and his own version of a mobile phone. And now you have Solana Mobile, which is also being developed for decentralization. As you can see, that if Elon Musk sees a demand in the marketplace, then Solana Mobile is definitely on top of that, because they also see the same issue. They also see the same issue with the market, and that means more competition is very healthy. And this is going to be interesting to see who wins, right? And I think that when you look at something like, maybe he's going to give up and Tesla phone will be a failure, but this Tesla network or the Starlink network is going to be successful, and maybe he's going to say, look, Solana Mobile and Tesla and Starlink is going to be feasible. Let's link these two things together. Or maybe he may adopt some of the SDK, software development kit, with the DApp Store, and include the Solana DeFi network store on that marketplace. We don't know. But the reason why this is important, and this is pertaining to Shib, ShipSwap is because it's investments. It is an investment within the ecosystem. When you see investments or growth within an environment, that's where you want to move to, because there's expectation of growth, there's expectation of profit, there's expectation of that stuff matured. So that's where you want to be. This is extremely bullish, and then you can see that the ETFs were coming out, and that's just going to help fund and pump liquidity into a building where innovation is. So this is your innovation, the Solana Mobile. This is your liquidity to sustain the innovation. That's what the ETFs are. So you know that's going to happen. Like if you have liquidity coming in to build innovation and sustain innovation, and then you start seeing things like this, Solana Mobile, you know that this ecosystem is going to pop and it's going to grow. Where there's growth, there's going to be more users, and more users imply more more congestion issues, as we experienced early on in April in Solana. And that's why this becomes more important. Why the SHIB swap becomes more in demand. Why this becomes more interesting. And it's just exciting. So I just wanted to cover that stuff. I'm going to drop some alpha shortly about some other stuff here. And excuse me. And as you can see here, there's expectation that Solana is going to break out. And people are saying, like, there's a lot of people that are 2 days ago, 3 days ago, within this, they're predicting that Solana is going to have a mini, like a bull run. Something's going to happen. It's going to rally, right? And everybody's saying, like, yo, this is going to pump. Look around at the media articles. Why are they saying that? And I just covered why. There's liquidity coming in, that there's anticipation of liquidity coming, and there's innovation that's being matured. It's not hard to predict that, folks. That's not a hard thing to predict. That's very simple. So these people that are calling this out are basically saying, like, yo, this is what's happening. Now, if I click on one of these, I'll click on the most recent one. Let's see what they're saying. Solana could eye 900% rally to 1,000, but only if. So there's a condition established this technical analysis. And this is here, Solana seems to be on the verge of a massive bullish breakouts. Sol could rally 900% in the long run, and it hits $1,000 per analyst. It's insane. Short-term price action seems uncertain if the market awaits US spot ETH ETF. So there's some the market is waiting. The Ethereum has to load first. During the week of the 15th to 21st of July, that's today, Solana reclaimed 150, climbed higher, posting 17% based on press time value of 173. The trend followed a broader market relief recovery. However, an extra 900% gain was still possible for the altcoin, per Ali Martinez, a prominent crypto analysis. Solana's eyeing 1,000, early sign of a breakout from a bull pendant suggesting 900%. So they're looking at the TA of the graph, and they're making the expectation. When I look at graphs for TA, I just think of this as confidence. So there's a lot of confidence in the market as it's moving up. But they're not, so far, they haven't answered where's this confidence coming from? That's what I'm more interested in, right? All he argued was based on technical analysis, particularly for bullish pennant patterns formed on Sol. So they're just looking at the TA of the chart. They're like, yeah, this is why. But my question is, what is inspiring this confidence? What is the cause of it, right? The pattern is a typical bullish continuation trend. In most cases, it ends up breakout. Equivalent to flagpole for Sol, this means the possibility of hitting 1,000 level in long term. So evaluating Sol's 100 short-term target, so they're not really addressing, like, they're looking at the TA. And that's fine. Like, TA is great, but why? Fact, crypto.com data flash. So they're okay. So makes sense. Yeah. See, this is the issue with, like, these crypto, like, companies and crypto news articles. They always cite, like, TA technical systems like this and use patterns and all that. And this is a legit use case. Like, pattern recognition is real. It's Much of cybersecurity tools use that pattern to recognize patterns. But my thing is, what is the original cause? Okay, we recognize a pattern, a bullish pattern. That's fine. What is the cause? Like, what is causing that? And I think this is what's causing that. There's illiquidity. There's anticipation of liquidity that's going to be pumped into the Solana ecosystem, and then there's innovation that's being matured and developed. You have liquidity, you have innovation, and I think these two things are what's causing this confidence pattern, which they have neglected from this article, because I think that they're, they could do a better job. That's just my opinion. But nevertheless, the article validates this pattern, kind of validates how I was looking at this. So that's fine. Now, I want to talk about bubble maps, but before I go into bubble maps, which is the alpha, I think that's going to I like to teach people stuff too. So this is something I thought everybody knew, but apparently not. So I want to teach people how to look at the bubble maps and how to use it. This is going to be very bullish, but before I do, I want to give a shout out to Anani Goon. Anani Goon and myself, we went out to New York City. We were raiding in real life, and there's some content he cooked up, and I think that the content needs to be looked at. And before I go into there, I just want to cover this Twitter thing I remember. Solana bull run breaking out or facing resistance. Solana is experiencing a bullish trend, a breakout of multi-week pendant formation and approaching key resistance level of 210 to 260. The crypto community is optimistic about Sol's potential, with some predictions predicting a move for 2,000 this cycle. That's insane. They're just, that's insane. 2,000. However, cautious voices suggest that the price might face resistance around 185, and the broader market, particularly Bitcoin, could influence Sol's performance. Well, yeah, they have not said anything of relevance. All these people are saying are they're looking at the TA of the pattern of the charts. And when I look at charts and I see an up pendant and things like that, that implies confidence. Okay, all charts are just charts of confidence. That's all it is. It's whether it's confidence going down, confidence going up in that particular project. Okay, the confidence is going up. Why is the confidence going up? And this is why I'm doing these YouTube videos, because of this very reason. Is like, tell me, why do you think the confidence is going up? And nobody's able to narrate that or articulate that. I think the confidence is going up because of this. I'm going to repeat it again. There is liquidity, anticipation of liquidity being pumped into Solana. And what are you going to do with that liquidity? Well, you have to put that liquidity to good use. Are you going to use that liquidity to buy a Ferrari? You're gonna, there's a depreciation in value on that investment. Or you're going to use it to stir innovation and build a Solana mobile. They're doing some type of innovation with this mobile platform. This is just one aspect of it. There's multiple different things that they're doing in Solana Cash, Solana this, but I'm not doing a Solana review. I talked about Shibwifhat, and the reason why I'm bringing this instance up is to show you that, number one, this part of innovation is so marketable to the general public that it's going to anticipate more users and get more users adopted to Block 3 technology, but Block 3 with Solana. And when those people come into the fold, because they're not familiar with computers, but they're good with mobile phones, and they are using decentralized app, you're going to have more people somehow finding their way to using the SHIB swap, right? That's why I'm bringing that up. But I'm not covering all the innovation. I think I should make a video about all the other innovations. That'll be beneficial for everybody. But yeah, I wanted to cover that, and I also want to show you guys the Goon video. So let me put a Goon.
Let him cook. Let him cook now. Let him cook! I said let him cook!
Yeah, this cooks hard, bro. This is just Goon's got a talent. He's really got a gift. You know, I seen him in New York City. It took him like 2 sec. He would look at a like an area, and he would just go silent and then starts cooking. It takes him 2 seconds to get content, and it takes me like hours, and my stuff is basic, and like this stuff is just like unreal. Yeah. It's unbelievable how these are different things stitched together, and it's like so seamless. And see this guy that passed out here, this guy that's passed out here, that's a Jeet. That's what a Jeet looks like. That's a Jeet realizing that, yo, I fucking faded Shib on ETH, and he's still just stuck in place, just passed out. He's just passed out, bro. My boy's passed out thinking about how he faded. That's what cheats look like when they fade a billion market cap coin. And people are like, "Oh, you're just talking. It's not a billion market cap coin. It's not." Well, guess what? This is GotBit's booth in Portugal at a conference, and they said from 1 million to 1 billion market cap. And literally, what's that logo? There's two coins here. This one's on base. This is Shib. That's on Solana, right? Understand where you are. Understand the partnerships. Understand the connections, the networks. Like, people don't understand. They don't get it. They don't understand how amazing this project is and how insane this is. Like, I took the screenshot, and this is just this is poor, but check this out. This is basically all like some of the influencers, not all, that early on in this project that we kind of the team rallied with, right? And they were influencing, they were just taking, they were chilling Shibwifhat on their accounts. Like the Donald J. Trump news account, this guy doesn't even shill crypto, and he was able to shill a crypto Donald J. Trump with a pink hat, and he was able to post that. He posted that. That's a post that he made. He even says like, I'm getting Shibwifhat. I'm wearing Shibwifhat, right? Like, he literally posted a content about us, and this goes to show you, it speaks to the network that this team has now, and relationships with these influencers, Jake Agin, all these people, DeFi Pope, all that, right? Now, here's the thing. The team still has $200,000 in this NFT wallet that has no relations to the market cap. Now, think about it logically, guys. You got 200K. And you have a bunch of relationships or former relationships with all these influencers. Understand that's just the type of marketing that can happen. That's unreal, right? Like, so that's what I wanted to show you guys with that. Now, bubble map. This is super important. Doesn't matter whatever project you're in. I strongly recommend learning how to use bubble map, and I'm going to show you guys how to use bubble map right quick. So I'm going to go to Shibwifhat. What bubble map is, for those who don't know, bubble map is basically a visualization of the blockchain data. So what does that mean? It means that, like, there's a lot of wallets that have a lot of tokens, and when transfers are being made, let's say you have somebody operates 4 wallets, and they have 100,000 tokens in wallet 1, 200,000 in wallet 2, 300,000 in wallet 3, and 400,000 in wallet 4. And you look at this guy's wallet, and you said, well, this guy has 100,000. This guy's, and you're looking at the top wallets. Well, guess what? Those wallets are all managed by the same person, right? So what this does is this visualizes who manages what, like all the wallets that are managed by an entity based off transfers, who you're transferring, the token to. And it's also important to note that there are always exceptions to the rule. Like, if you have, I think, DeLang, shout out to DeLang. I had disagreements with him in the past, but he made a good point. He was like, if you have multiple sexes, you could transfer content to, and it would not constitute as what the algo would find, the algorithm of bubble maps would find. And the reality of it is yeah, that's an exception, but it's a rare exception. Not many people are doing that. And that's a very unusual exception for a project that's 5 months old, that's already ran its course. So that doesn't make any sense. It's not applicable to what I'm about to show you. And the other thing too, which is interesting as well, that we want to talk about is I'm going to teach you guys about clusters and the percentage. But the rule of thumb for any project is you never want to ape into a project where one wallet has more than 5% of the supply. And that's the reason why I say that is because it's really bad. Because if that person were to sell, they could actually take down the entire project. Well, not the entire, but they could impact the project beyond recoverable, right? Like it won't be able to recover. So that's the reason why Bubble Maps is created, is to find these people that are slow selling all this stuff and all this jazz. I'll show you. So this is, I'm gonna launch the app, right? And then it tells you, okay, put the contract ID. So we're gonna go to Shibwifhat, right? This is the 5.9 contract. I'm so bullish that I'm gonna do this and show you guys, because I've already checked this and it's like, this is bullish as hell. So I gotta find the contract. I can never find the contract with CoinMarketCap. Where are we? There we go. So the 5.6 contract is us. I'm gonna go to Bubble Map, dropping the contract in here, and I'm pulling it up. This is the pretty much what the Bubble Map looks like, right? And you click on the top here and it shows you your wallet list, the top 10 wallets. So I click on the first one. This is Radium. This has 4.99% of the supply. So this wallet here is Radium, and you can move it too. That's the number one wallet, Radium. The number two wallet is this guy. He has 4.84% of the supply, and this is the speculation. This one, I think it was this one that might be related to Winter Mute or something like that. I'm not 100% sure, which is still pretty good, and it's below the 5% mark. Just want to move. This is like annoying. The third wallet, and this is has 2.5% of the supply. And see, these are single, just big wallets. They're single. And here's the one I wanted to show you guys. This is a cluster wallet, right? And this is important to understand. This one wallet, the big circle, right, in this cluster, has 2.5% of the supply. However, it transfers, it has a lot of volume transfers to these other wallets. See, 1, 2, 3, 4. And these other wallets here, 87, 127, and then 92, and then it has this one here, 120. Notice that the percentage of each one of these circles changes. 0.187% of the supply is in there, 0.2 is in that one, 0.1 is in that one, 0.2 is in that one, and then the big one has 2.5. So what this other option here, which is called cluster percentage, right below that, this is the aggregation or the sum of all these wallets that it's connected to. And if you look at that, it's 3.3% of the supply, which is below the 5% recommendation. So this is why it's so important to check these wallets. And you see all the clusters that I'm clicking on is 1.7, right? This one here, like, oh, what's this? 2.5. What's this? 2.6. What's that one? 2.6. And what's this? 2.7. And what's that? This one here, 0.82. So even if all the clusters of all the wallets within Shibwifhat, they're all below the 5% like recommendation to send projects, and some of them are way below the 5%. None of them are in the 4s, right? And this is why this project is so bullish. It's so, compared to other projects, and I'm going to show you, if you go to Bubble Maps, I'm on Twitter, so I'm going to pull up my right, let me go here. Hold up, I'm logged in on this. Cool. I should have had this ready. But if you go to Bubble Maps on Twitter, I want to show you what a bad one looks like, so you guys all can see. You go on Twitter and you look up Bubble Maps. Everybody's reaching out to me. Boom. Boop, 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 boop. And you look up Bubble Maps, and then you look up, here we go, the Donald. I'm gonna shit on the Donald, right? So this is Bubble Maps on Twitter, right? And it says, Bubble Maps go, we've spotted a large insider activity on the coin, the Donald. And then if you look at the friggin' Bubble Map, it shows you 40% of the supply. So they're showing you that one wallet, that big circle, has 1.3, and on the Donald Pump, it's called Donald Pump coin, that meme coin called Donald Pump, they have 40% of the supply in there, right? And one entity is controlling 40% of that, right? Ours do not look like that. Ours do not look like that at all. This is why Shibwifhat is so bullish and so honest and so legit. This is why I've been bullish on this project, why I started making videos. When I saw this early on, I was like, wait a minute, this project is legit. There's no, tomfoolery going around here with the wallets. And this is why, like, I'm comfortable to go on a fucking bubble map on a YouTube and then show people, like, yo, look at this. Look for yourself. Go to bubblemaps. Put the contract. You could even go further and start grabbing this wallet here, and then you go to Solana. Check this out, Solana FM, and then you paste the wallet in here. Like, you go to Solana FM, you paste the wallet in here. Now, we were doing this on the space. You guys should join our space, our Twitter space. We were looking at wallets in our Twitter space, and we look at the number. Was it 2 wallet, whatever it is? And you can look at transfers. You can see when last they bought, when last they sold, what's going on here. You could see what they're doing. They're buying, this guy's swapping another token, this compute budget token program. Like, you got to click on transactions, UTC, and you're seeing that they're not really touching Shibwifhat, because you see the logo here. Boom. Pulling a random top wallet. And I go back and look, grab another top wallet. Let's grab this guy here, number 4, because that was the first cluster one that we were looking at, right? And I'll grab the big guy. Let's see here. Grab your wallet. I'm gonna go into the Solana FM. Where's Solana FM? There we go. And hit enter. And zoom out. This thing's all zoomed in. It's all goofed up. There you go. Solana FM is so slow. There we go. And then you pull it out. You see this guy's investing in other coins. Chewy. He's just buying other tokens. Baby Tate and Books of Billionaires and all this stuff. And you look at transfers, right? And then you're saying, okay, you can see he's transferring stuff, but if you go to transactions, I don't care if he's transferring. And I go to, you should be able to look for a token. If I see Shib. Where is this shit? Let's see, transferred it. Look for success. And you can see what they're transferring. When last they transfer it. Or when last they bought it. I think it's transfers. He ain't doing that with that. Tokens. Chib. There we go. Boom. This guy's holding. This is a token. He's just holding all this. This is his balance. $88,000 in Shib. Oh, he is Shiba Inu. Interesting. You see, he's just a holder. He's not even I can't find Shib in any of his transactions. So this was transferred to his wallet, and this implies. And if you look at transfers, you're not seeing any transfers in or out, inflow, outflow. This guy, he ain't touching his Shib. He's making transactions on other tokens, Rocky. What's this? Books of Billionaires. If I look for the token for Shib in this list, I don't see Shib in this list because he's not making any transactions. There are no transactions he's making with that. That's bullish. If your top 10 wallets, if these top 10 wallets, we checked all of them on the space, none of them are buying or selling Shib. Like, they're not buying anymore. They're not selling anymore. They're just holding. They've acquired a whole bunch and they're just holding, and that's bullish. And then when we start getting down here, I think there was like 3 or 4 still buying. But if you go down to the 9s, 10s, and 11s, these guys are still buying. They're still accumulating because they want to get to this 1%, right? That's the goal. If you have 1% of the supply, that's why the token distribution is so healthy. I mean, look what's going on. The number 1 wallet, this number 1 here is Radium. That's the number 1 wallet. Number 2, we believe it's an entity of some sort. The top 10 wallets majority of them have to be entities. I'll explain. We have rumors that Wintermute's involved. We have rumors that we know that GotBit's involved. We know that Kenzo's lab is involved. We know that there's a lot of the team has to have a wallet themselves as well. You know that there's in fact other entities that see interest in this particular project that are involved, right? I suspect, and this is my speculation, I suspect that, and we know BitGot, one of our sexes wallets should be here. So you have BitGot, one of the sexes. You have Radium already there. We know that GotBit has to have a wallet up in the top 10. We know Kenzo Lab more than likely have a wallet in the top 10. And then we know potentially Wintermute has to have a wallet in the top 10. Out of these top 10 wallets, top 10, 5 of them I can account for entities. That remains five of them to be under the purview of ownerships of holders. And what's more realistic are the people in the 1% are more than likely the holders. That's how I look at that. That's just my speculation on that. But this is what I'm trying to tell you. This is what I'm trying to say. Like this is extremely healthy token distribution. Compared to this is the Donald. Look at that. That's insane. This is on their Twitter. BubbleMap posted this on their Twitter space about the Donald, how it's insider activity. Ours do not look like this. And you could check each one of these. Look, cluster percentage. This is extremely bullish. So, definitely check it out. Go to bubblemaps and check out the alpha for yourself. I just zoomed out, damn it. But yeah, check that out. Bubblemaps.io, follow bubblemaps as well, and you could also check for other contracts as well. Like if you look for not new tokens, like if the new tokens come out in DEX, they're not going to be able to. They don't have that algo running 24/7. But like for tokens that have been around for about I would say a week or maybe like a couple days, you're going to see it listed and found in bubblemaps. And that's what people need to do. They need to start doing their own research and get in there and look at the bubble maps, and then see where the token, look at the wallet transfers on SolScan or Solana FM. Most people use Solana's SolScan. I like Solana FM. I just like how it looks, but it's the same thing. Yeah, and that goes to show you this is how crypto is. You got to do your own research, get into the blockchain, look at the wallets, and you could tell off the bat this project is solid. It's just I'm not even concerned. We know we're not concerned, and we could prove that because if you look at the NFT wallet right here, I'm gonna grab the NFT wallet right off the URL right in front of everybody's faces just to validate this is in fact legit. I'm not showing you a different wallet. I'm coming here, I'm right clicking, I'm clicking copy, I'm going to the SolScan, I'm dropping this and paste, right? I'm clicking enter, and boom, $203,000. Been sitting there since March 20th. If look around, man, look at the trust in this community. It's ridiculous. It's absurd. I'm gonna also made a let me see if I could find this. I closed it out. I was looking for my Telegram, and I just closed it out like a clown. But I click on this, and I want to find this summary that I wrote. And I said, remember, bros, teams develop in ShibSwap utility. That I know for a fact. Communities cooking up content with stickers, raids, and videos, spaces, and memes. That's what I'm doing right now. The community's constantly reaching and sharing alpha. That is 100% true. We raided this hard this morning. We're going to continue raiding. And, we're trying to get in early. When you raid, try to hit this 3 minutes, 2 minutes, within 5 minutes with these big accounts post, and then we'll slap it with as many views and likes and get that populated, because it's not about pumping this coin, it's about changing people's lives. And if you shill them the next billion market cap meta, you're going to become an influencer right off the bat. And then you have the ability to change how influencers can do it. You don't have to be an influencer where it's you're going to just dump on your community and all that jazz. You have the opportunity now to show people how it's really done. It's kind of like Sam Sulak with the bodybuilding and the fitness industry. Sam just came out there and he's pushing a lot of gear. He's definitely pumping gear, but what he's doing, he's just vlogging his everyday and being honest and transparent in how he's doing. He's just not talking about the gear. And I think that's what we need. We need a Sam Sulak in the crypto space to just be 100% transparent. This is what it's about. you know, and I think this is what I'm trying to do, and this is the content that I'm creating, and I see a unique opportunity to where, like, you know, that what Sam is doing can be replicated within the crypto space and bring some honesty and transparency to the crypto space. And that's kind of how I look at it. I might be mistaken, and who knows, I'm going to be attacked. But, you know, look, hey, I'm showing you guys things that, you know, like bubble maps and things like that, and I'm being forthright in you know, where I'm looking at. But that's just how I am. Yeah, so community constantly reaching to share an alpha. That's what I'm doing right now with the bubble maps. Bubble maps validate token distribution is healthy. Boom, that's what it is. And I showed you a healthy one, which is our token, and I showed you an unhealthy one, which is in fact Donald, the Donald one that showed the 40% one, and that was on Twitter. That was, go to bubble maps, click on their follow them on X, and look at their Twitter, and then look at their image, the post they made of the Donald, and how they, you know, they trashed them. So I showed you good and bad examples, and we're good, very bullish. Partnerships with crypto fintech firms, Kenzo Labs and Gotbit, very bullish. You know, multiple catalysts coming with sex listings, 100%. Like, you know, we're only listed on one sex, and I think that as this progress onwards and our volume starts picking up, you know, we're gonna potentially be listed on tier 1 sexes. And I believe that. NFT wallets has 200K since March 15th, and no one has touched that wallet to date. I just showed you guys that multiple times in this video. Leaked content of Shib swap, and users were able to make transactions using that swap. I showed you content. I showed you that I, in fact, the URL for it. I showed you how I, you know, what my screenshots were of using it. I showed you me reaching out to Wolf Nagato and him giving me the most, you know, non answer. And I showed you that conversation just to be fully transparent. And then I also confirmed that the swap was taken offline off that URL, which kind of validates that it's in their purview, meaning it's in their control, and they took that offline. And they're, you know, they didn't want everybody to, you know, start swapping on that. It's not ready for production, right? And then it says here, verifying the supply in CoinGecko. This is true. CoinGecko did verify our supply. Listing Shibwifhat on Jupiter's restrict list. That is correct. All these things on the individual basis are completely meaningless, but in the context of what this is and where this development and where this utility is coming out, understand this is a rocket ship. This is prepping the rocket. This is checking the fuel. This is checking the logistics of the rocket engines, the caliber, the thrust, all this stuff, like the directions, the, you know, the GPS system on the rocket, all that stuff. That's what this is. The prerequisites, the check, making sure everything is, you know, the heat shields are good, all that stuff. That's what this is. And in the context of things, that's what we're doing, is the puzzle pieces. All these are different puzzles, and we're putting them together. We kind of get a picture, and the picture's a rocket, you know. So I think Shibwifhat's going to be blasting off. I really do. And I think that we're well packed. Pack your bags. I think that we're going to be sent. This is going to be sent. You know, very bullish on this project, man. I'm just like, the more I think about it, the more bullish it is for me, man. Like, I'm just, it's out of control. And I wanted to share this with the community and basically get the feedback. So I just want to make another video, and I really appreciate everybody's opportunity. If you guys can if you guys like my content and you guys are enthralled with it, you think that it's legit, like what I'm saying is, you know, you can see what I'm saying, and you can meet me halfway and say, okay, this makes sense, or you have criticism. You know, if you do, I got to be more tolerable of that. Delaying is my biggest critic in this community, but look, wherever there's somebody trying really hard, you know, I can only get better with the criticism, right? So I got to be able to take criticism, and that's a development opportunity on myself. Whether I like it or not, I got to be able to take it. So I got to make peace with my boy Delang. He's 100% right, so shout out to Delang. You know, but it goes both ways, right? Like, I think criticism as well, it's important, but it has to be within reason. That's my thing. If something is gonna say something, you know, it has to be within reason. And I think that, like, you know, I've been, if you guys like my content, you really dig how I am and dig what I say, and sometimes it could go on very long and all this, but I have a lot to say. You know, like, comment, and subscribe. You know, please help me. If you like this content and this format and what I'm doing, And you know, if you think that I have value in crypto in terms of I have a unique perspective and a unique content delivery mechanism, and you like everything I'm doing, and you know, please subscribe, please like, because you know, when we become millionaires and from Shibwifhat, I believe that there may be other projects and stuff like that that I may be enthralled in, right? But I don't think so. I think this might be it for me, right? I really do, because you know, I cannot see this project so undervalued, right? It's just like it doesn't even make sense. Like, why is it so undervalued? But it is what it is, man. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and you know, I'll see you guys on the moon. You know, we're definitely gonna try to do a Twitter space later on. Get some more guys in, pass the mic around, because sometimes I do get tired of talking. Um, believe it or not. But yeah, I really do appreciate everybody, and yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and let me know how I'm doing. Thanks, guys.